It's a DACCCAST. It's a DACCCAST. It's a DACCCAST. DACCCAST. Cause I said it's a DACCCAST. It's a DACCCAST. It's a DACCCAST. 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 DACCCAST.
You're listening to DACCCAST, produced by students of Danville Area Community College. And now your hosts, Kia and Keegan.
Yo, it's Kia and Keegan here from the basement of the clock tower.
Here on DACCCAST, we get to know the familiar faces we see all over campus in hopes that students at DAC and members of the community get to know each other a little better.
With that being said, we are here with Kelly Johnson, the Director of Health Information Technology here at DAC.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi.
How are you?
Doing okay. Freezing, but okay.
Yeah, it is pretty cold out there. Okay, so introduce yourself and tell us what your role here at DAC is and kind of what a normal day looks like for you.
Okay. My name's Kelly Johnson. I'm the Director of Health Information Technology. So what I do is I'm responsible for taking any incoming students, taking care of their information, all of the administrative stuff having to do with the program. It's just kind of the keeping the whole thing together, and it's an awesome place to be. I am so happy to be here, and I also do teach some of the courses as well. Currently, I'm teaching one of our first year students classes, and then one of the second year students classes as well. So pretty much, I kind of feel like I'm the mom of the program. It's a good role for me because I've got 4 kids, so I'm used to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So take us into a little bit of your background. So we've talked before this, and you said that you're from Florida, and you're definitely not used to the cold temperatures up
Right.
here in the Midwest. So take us through where you went to college and how that experience was.
Well, I kind of came here really roundabout. So I am originally from Florida. When I was younger, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do, but eventually I decided on a healthcare career. Mm-hmm. And where I lived in Panama City, Florida, at the time they didn't have an ultrasound program. There was an x-ray program. And the only way to get into ultrasound, which is what I decided I wanted to do, was to start with x-ray and then branch into the specialty of ultrasound. So that's what I attempted to do. I wound up getting pregnant with my 3rd child, I think, in the process, and kind of derailed that for a little while, but came back to it because by the time I had that child, my son, my youngest son, the college there, the community college, had opened up an ultrasound program, so I went directly into that program. It was awesome, and I loved my community college experience there. From there, it just sort of like the floodgates opened. I continued to pursue more in the healthcare field. I got my bachelor's degree in radiology at Midwestern State University. And then from there, I decided I enjoyed education as well. So I got my bachelor's equivalent through the Educator Preparation Institute at that same community college.
Yeah.
It was an awesome program. And then from there, I just continued to pursue my education. I was in the clinical side of things. I decided I wanted to get into more of the administrative side. So I pursued my master's degree in health information management and informatics, and worked in that field for a while, and was just trying to figure out a way to, I was also at the same time teaching kindergarten through 12th math and science. Mm-hmm. And so I had education, I had health informatics. I was like, how do I put these two together? So I started looking for jobs that I could do both, teach what I love. And so this job came available just at the right time. And so I put in an application. It was mid-COVID, so everything was done through Zoom. They did invite me here on campus back in June of 2020 to tour the campus, and I just fell in love with it. And I just love community colleges anyway, but when I got here, I was like, I love this place. So, yeah, it was great.
So what is it about community college and like this small school aspect that really draws you to it?
I feel like it is one of the most valuable things that is offered in a community because it makes education and careers available to people who might not otherwise be able to pursue it. I am a recipient of that myself. Like I said, I was a single mom, and I wanted to be able to take good care of my family. And so I pursued an education through community college. There was no way I would be able to afford a university degree at that point.
Yeah.
So I've seen it in my life and many other people's lives, helping people to be able to get their whatever their dreams are as far as education and their careers started at the community college level. And then from there, I mean, you can go anywhere. So it's sort of like, I don't know, I believe in it, and it's just a wonderful thing to get to be a student in, but then also to be an educator as well.
Yeah. Gotcha.
You said you lived in Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Midwestern University is in Texas, right?
Right.
Tennessee or no?
Yeah. University of Tennessee was my master's degree.
Okay.
Alabama?
Right. Yeah. I've kind of been all over, but now those were online. So
okay.
Midwestern State and University of Tennessee were 100% online.
Okay.
So I lived in Panama City, Florida, and got my online bachelor's degree from Midwestern State University in radiology. Then at the local community college, which is Gulf Coast Community College in Panama City, Florida, that's where I got the bachelor's equivalent Educator Preparation Institute. And then from there, I did my online master's degree at University of Tennessee, which was that was online as well.
Sure.
Then I can tell you how I wound up in Alabama. That was
Go ahead.
all my kids were born in the Panhandle of Florida, where Panama City is.
Okay.
That area. We had no intentions of ever leaving. I'd been there for 35 years or something. Then in October of 2018, Hurricane Michael wiped Panama City, where the east side of Panama City, and then over to Mexico Beach, wiped it out. Just a Category 5, catastrophic. It's impossible to fully explain the devastation. It was everything that you are used to is gone, including trees. There are no more landmarks. You don't know where you are. It was just basically flattened. The places where we used to go for our beach trips, there were just foundations left. And there were canals in that area. And I thought, wow, where did all of the building material go? Where are the roofs and the walls? And they had a little drone go in and fly over the area. And they got really close to the canals, and you could see all of the building material was down in the canals. Wow. So all of the structures had been just blown into those canals. So anyway, as a result of that, the school where I worked and my home were destroyed in Hurricane Michael. So we just kind of temporarily moved to southern Alabama, which is just about 3 hours west of where we lived. Same climate, same beach type atmosphere. It wasn't where we chose. We didn't, we weren't like, hey, let's move to Alabama. It was kind of forced. But in all that change, it kind of pushed this decision as well. So although it was a horrible catastrophe, something good did come out of it, because I was displaced, and I was like, well, hey, everything's changed. I may as well make a change, you know? So it gave me kind of the courage to do something like move 4 states away from where, where I was.
So between Texas, Alabama, and Florida, which one do you like the best?
Wow. That's a hard question. Northern Alabama is beautiful.
Really?
It is truly a beautiful place. That's just at the foot of the Blue Ridge Mountains. It actually has a change of seasons. Florida has its beauty. Panama City Beach, Florida, I don't know if you've ever been to the Panhandle. That white sand there, I mean, the emerald waters, gorgeous, beautiful. And as far as Texas, I've only visited there because my school was online. But now I love Illinois, I have to say. I know a lot of people are like, it's flat and boring. But
it's a strong thing to say.
It's just really cool to me because my whole life I've been in a place where there are no seasons. We don't see the change of colors in the trees. We don't see snow is an absolute never, ever. One time since I lived there, it had a light dusting of snow back in 87 once for a few hours. So here, at least there's a variety of seasons, and, I love it up here, though. I mean, maybe it was just, because it's different. It's so different, but I really like this area.
Yeah.
Just wait until March when at 2 p.m. it'll be snowing, and then 2 p.m. next day it'll be 68 and sunny.
Yeah.
And you can go on a run. It's crazy.
You can have all 4 seasons in
Yeah.
one day. if
Oh,
you really
wow.
try hard enough.
Yeah, it's bad.
I did want to say something, though, is that you were talking about Hurricane Michael and the destruction and all of that. And I actually went down to Panama City, Florida, to do hurricane relief work
Wow.
in fall of 2019.
Wow.
And so you describing that stuff, I saw that. I mean, I saw it, what was it, a year after? A year after. And it's just insane to see the destruction that was still there.
It was. Yeah.
And, you were displaced, and there were so many people that was displaced from their home, and I met so many homeowners who couldn't live in their house because it wasn't livable.
Yeah.
They were living in RVs in their front yard because that's all,
Yeah.
they could do about it. And it was, you're really right when you say you can't describe it whatsoever and what it looks like.
Yeah. It was a life-changing experience for a lot of people, and it kind of opens your eyes too to when you see catastrophes like that happen around the world. You hear about monsoons and tsunamis and other places in the world, and just how it destroys people's lives, and then it's there on the news for a few days, and then it's gone, and it's out of your mind because it's not on it's not on your news program anymore.
Yeah.
But those people are going to probably be changed for the rest of their lives, and
Exactly.
it's truly the magnitude of there's a Category 5 hurricane. My mom's house, she still lives there. Her exterior wall, a branch only about maybe 2.5 inches in diameter, it had been flung at such force that it actually pierced the exterior wall in her house.
Oh, my goodness.
I mean, it was just incredible. And so during the recovery period, I had to leave. She was still there, and we got to talk from time to time because the cell service was terrible for a while. But I said, Mom, how are you doing? And she said, so I don't get depressed when I go outside, I just look up at the sky. She was like, the sky's still pretty.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. It's just like making me think back on my
All
my
the images.
hurricane. Yeah. Well, I mean, so I went and did another hurricane relief trip exactly 1 month after Hurricane Dorian in the Bahamas.
Oh, wow.
And so there's a big difference between seeing something 1 year after versus 1 month after. I can't even imagine seeing it 1 day after.
Yeah.
30 minutes after.
We had to go back in to try to help recover people that we couldn't get in contact with. I mean, everything was destroyed. And so when we went back in the day after, not only was the landscape completely changed, but every entry point to get into the county, there were tanks and armed guards with machine guns, and I was like, where are we?
Wow.
Because there's a huge Air Force base that they actually considered almost a total loss.
Wow.
I don't know if you've ever heard of Tyndall Air Force Base, but it's a huge Air Force base that sits right on the Gulf of Mexico, and you think of the destruction that happened there and why they would feel the need to protect that area, because everything was completely open. Like, you could just walk into the base and walk into any office you wanted, because the things that were normally there to protect, intruders, all that was gone, you know. So it kind of humbles you too when you realize that, okay, we think we have things under control, but in 3 hours, everything's different. You know?
Okay. On another note, you said you have kids, right?
Yes, I do. I have 4. My 2 oldest are grown and married. They still live in Florida. My oldest son, he lives in Panama City, Florida. He was affected by the hurricane, but his life wasn't totally turned upside down. But he stayed in that area, and he really loves it there. He has a very good job, and got married, and so he's got a nice life there, and I'm happy for him. He's so far away, though. But then my oldest daughter lives in Gainesville, Florida. That's where the University of Florida is. And her husband actually are the representatives for a global company that is actually based in mainland China. And so they have lots of great experiences. They travel all over the world. I get pictures from them. Well, pre-COVID, they'd be in Iceland or Germany or Austria, or, I mean, just all over traveling for their company. So I'm super happy and proud of them, too. And then my two youngest still live at home with me. They're actually both DACC students. My youngest daughter's 17. She just finished her first semester here. She got straight A's. And then my son that lives at home, he's 18, and this will be his first semester at DACC. So, and we love it here. Yeah, we love DACC.
So, do you still get to visit Florida? I mean, obviously, maybe not now so much.
I haven't since we've moved to Illinois, but I am planning a trip to go back and visit my mom in March, or maybe beginning of April, whenever our spring break is. But after the hurricane, and we did go back a few times, and just see family and everything, and it's. I'll tell you what, that area of Florida is truly, it's called the world's most beautiful beaches, and it really, really, truly is. It's the beaches there are just amazing.
It's hard to wrap my head around being able to, like, call a beach home, like going home,
Yeah.
Just gonna go take a short walk to a beach.
It is interesting because it's the tourist mecca just about of the Panhandle, and so at certain points in the year, your life is just changed because, especially during spring break, the whole face of that place changes. So,
really?
Yeah, because everybody that's in college, goes down there.
Yeah.
So so it's snowbirds, the older crowd from the north and from Canada, and then suddenly in March, it's just like crazy.
It's crazy. I would only imagine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just like stock up before we're not going out this month.
Don't go out.
Yeah. Okay, and then you said, let's see, did you work in a hospital?
I did.
Did you?
Yes, because I failed to mention that about my ultrasound career. I actually was an ultrasound tech for about 10 years.
Wow.
And I worked in a hospital as well as a private physician's office. And that was a really great experience. I had some awesome experiences with ultrasound. So I love the patient care side of healthcare. Health information, of course, is behind the scenes. What we do still affects people's lives, and in some ways you could even say saves people's lives, because we have to do with the data that's used for research in, like, finding cures for things like COVID. That's what health information does. But then when I was an ultrasound tech, you're hands-on with the patient. Mm-hmm. So there's beautiful aspects to both parts. But as an ultrasound tech, I remember not long after I got into that field, after I graduated from school, I had this crazy experience where, like kind of a once-in-a-lifetime experience. I had a patient come in that didn't have symptoms of pancreatic cancer, but I followed the protocol that my instructors had given me and found that this patient had early stage pancreatic cancer.
Wow.
So because I followed the procedure, she was able to go in and have a partial, what's called a Whipple procedure, mm-hmm. and she beat the odds, because normally pancreatic cancer is a death sentence. Yeah. But because it was caught early, she was able to have that Whipple procedure done, and she's still alive. To the last of my knowledge, she's still alive today.
Wow.
So yeah, that was a great experience. But it taught me a lesson. Like, when we're taught procedures to follow, like, it's so important, like, to follow those procedures, and to, even though sometimes we want to maybe free will something or whatever, following procedure is so important, and that, I feel, probably helped to save that lady's life.
Yeah.
So, but
that must be awesome.
Yeah, it was a great experience.
That's pretty cool. Can you see any similarities or big differences between working in a hospital versus a college? I feel like that's a really big jump.
Yeah, there are definitely differences, but you have customers in any field that you work in. So if you're working in healthcare, your direct customers, your patient. But then when you're working in education, your customers, your students.
Yeah.
So you need to learn certain skills for both. And I totally believe in you put the interest of your customer first, whatever that customer, whoever they are. Sometimes, even in both fields, you have external customers and internal. But always trying to put the needs of others before yourself is going to result in the most positive experience. So I'd say in healthcare and in education, putting the needs of others first, that's what's going to result in and you're going to feel good about what you do too.
Yeah.
Anytime we do that, we feel good about what we do. The people that we're serving benefit, and then we benefit. So, yeah. The golden rule,
Exactly. Okay, so correct me if I'm wrong. It's Kelly Johnson, MHIIM,
Yes.
ARRT,
Yes.
RT,
Yes.
S,
Yes.
VS.
Yes.
Could you break that down for us?
Sure. Yeah. That is not like a Da Vinci Code or anything like that. That is Masters of Healthcare Informatics and Information Management.
Okay.
That's the MHIIM. RHIA is Registered Health Information Administrator.
Okay.
ARRT is American Registry of Radiological Technologists. And then RT is Radiological Technologist. S is for sonography. And then VS is vascular sonography. So.
Wow. Wow. That's a lot.
That's kind of like that whole thing with Texas, Alabama, and
exactly.
Florida, and they're all related to one of those letters.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Did I see somewhere where you got a degree of some sort in Earth and Space?
That is
Science
actually, yes,
or
that's actually my teaching, when I did the teaching certificate, because what the reason that the college offered that was Florida suffered a severe lack of qualified K through 12 teachers. So what they did is they had this program open up for anybody with any bachelor's degree. It didn't matter what it was in. You could get your actual Florida teaching license to do K through 12 as long as you went through this program that the college offered. And so because my history had been in science, it was health science, it was still science, I chose to first pursue earth space science as my K through 12 teaching licensure.
Yeah.
Then from there I went into math, which is actually one of my passions, in addition to health information technology. So yes, I have my teaching certificate in earth space science and then also in mathematics.
And have you taught K through 12 at all?
Yes, I in fact, the school where I taught in Panama City, it was a high school, fantastic high school. We served underprivileged people in the area. It was a public high school, but it was a charter, and the principal was a genius. He developed an alternative approach to academics for basically the students that didn't thrive in a conventional classroom. So this amazing program that was set up in this high school, it was it was really credit based more so than we didn't have the freshman, sophomore, junior, senior. It was credit based. Okay. Anybody could get in, and it was for students that we had students that had problems with the law, things where maybe they had issues with the classroom behavior or whatever. They kind of funneled to us. Mm-hmm. We had amazing graduation rates though, and they rebuilt, so they did make it through the hurricane. But every year our graduation rate either doubled or close to doubled because so these were kids that they were not going to get their diploma. They were going somewhere else and probably not somewhere good, but we kind of intercepted in their lives and were able to serve them, and the changes that happened in these kids' lives was amazing. So I taught math and science there at that high school. But I've also done some K through 12 teaching online as well, and I love it. I love teaching.
I feel like you've done so much. Like you've done a little bit of a lot of things.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Yeah, I guess you might be, like, is this a multiple personality going on here?
So at that school, I feel like to really make a difference in those kids' lives, you have to get to know them on a personal level and relate to them a lot. And we've heard that you use that same strategy here.
Yes.
So why do you do that here still?
Well, I think that's just what everybody should do all the time. Like,
Yeah.
Get to know the people that you're working with and try to understand people on a personal level. It's always best to assume the best about everybody and try to be empathetic. And, I believe in the servant heart, making myself available and trying to, instead of making my students bend to what I want, figure out what they need and tailor things to them. And the only way to know what they need is to get to know them.
Yeah.
And so that's super important. And, that's what we're striving for, is to take care of whatever it is that people need and, do that in a way that's personal too. When people have good experiences in education, it just continues to foster growth. And when they have bad experiences in education, though, it stifles. So,
Wow,
the idea of,
She's
Preaching.
she's preaching over here.
Yeah.
So we don't want to stifle anybody. We want to encourage growth.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So what aspect of DAC kind of stands out from your previous jobs that you've had in schooling?
I am so impressed with the diverse experiences that are available here for our students. When I saw all of the different things that are available, like I still am not completely comprehending the esports thing. I want to know more about that. But just in the building where I'm in Mary Miller, when I started exploring, I was like, oh, there's a dance studio. Oh, there's a racquetball court. Oh, my goodness, there's all these amazing experiences and then also, trajectories that are available to our students. And it just seems like there's this endless well of resources available for our students. I have not seen that at another school. This school is unique in that way and what it provides for the students. And I'm really, really happy to be here. And I'm as soon as I have more time, I'm going to try to investigate even more and find out more, in particular about esports.
Yeah.
So
We have a guy that we can hook you up with.
Yeah, exactly. We know someone.
who is that?
Guido.
Oh, Guido.
He's-
Okay.
he
Right
runs
there in the
whole
next
program.
room.
Oh,
I
okay,
think.
cool.
Yeah,
So what are some of your personal goals for your career? I mean, you've done so much in your life thus far. I mean, what do you have planned for now until forever?
Well, coming here and kind of taking the position after Marcy Wright, she's now the full-time instructor. She was the program director. She really just set this program up for success. I mean, it's been successful, and I just want to continue in her footsteps and keep pushing forward with what she's already developed. And I have learned so much just since July, since I've been here, about taking on this role and what it means and how much it's helped so many people in the past, and I know is going to help more people in the future. So just continuing what the program is doing and trying to, expand it even further. And just being the best I can be in that role and, walking in her footsteps as much as I can. I won't be able to fill those shoes completely, but hopefully one day. That's one goal I have.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I just, I just want to do a good job and support DAC and be I am a DAC cheerleader. I've gotten just so much from this experience so far and truly believe in the school and believe in our program. So just continuing to support it and do my best to, make it known.
Yeah, of course.
We are now going to move on to our rapid fire segment called DAC Attack.
1, 2, 3, 4. Deck attack, 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 deck attack.
I mean, that's it?
Dogs or cats?
Dogs.
Mornings or evenings?
Evenings.
Music or podcasts?
Music.
Sweet or savory?
See, okay, that's the song. See, I'm on a low carb diet, so I need to say savory, but I want to say sweet. So, sweet.
TV or books?
Books.
High tech or low tech?
High tech.
You didn't seem too sure about that one. Summer or winter?
Where? Florida or Illinois?
Yeah, that is a good question.
Probably winter.
Winter?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. Beach or mountains?
Mountains.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I've had my fill of beaches.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I want to live in the mountains when I'm super old and die there and be buried there.
Perfect. So you do have a plan for forever.
Yeah, I forgot to add that. Yeah. Mountains and death. Yeah.
Eat in or dine out?
Well, right now we can't really dine out, so I guess eat in.
Yeah, very true.
Midwest or the South?
Midwest.
I think.
Are you sure?
I think she's yanking her.
Yeah.
I'm stroking DACC right now.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah,
I
that
mean,
was
being
awesome.
here with us today, but also being here at DACC. I mean, I think you're going to be you are a great asset to the school, and you're just
Thank
making
you.
it a little bit better.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. Really proud to be here. So thank you
Exactly.
very much.
Well, we enjoyed having you today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Thank you guys for listening. This has been the DACCAST with Kia and Keegan.
Stay classy, Jaguars.